I don't care how it got done. It didn't really matter how it got done, but it just needed to get done. Arsenal have just beat Manchester City, the champions, the treble winners, 1-0 at home in, like I said, a game that almost killed me because if you guys were there for the watch along, I mean, I said it at halftime that I felt like Jorginho, Rice, and Saliba and Gabriel were, if we were to win, would have been on the wrong side. Like they deserved to be on the winning side because in that first half, I thought they kept us in it with their interceptions, keeping the ball, last ditch defending. I thought those four really stood out to me. And up front, we were really lacking any sort of like threat. And as the game wore on, I became more and more afraid of, City growing stronger and putting more pressure on us. But Arteta figured out a way to get our subs just right where we matched them at every point in the game. We started off a little bit weaker. They started off a little bit weaker. And when they got stronger, we got stronger. And the substitution of Martinelli at halftime for Trossard was perfect. Trossard didn't really get that many touches in the first half, but Martinelli comes straight on, takes on his man, creates a little bit of threat, and all of a sudden we look like a completely different animal. Him and Jesus were adding threat to a team that was like so toothless in the first half. Then the substitutions of Tommy, Havertz, and Partey, those are the ones that won us the game because you take out the ability for them to affect us on that left-hand side with Zinchenko. You bring Thomas Partey in, who puts in the ball for Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu heads the ball down into Havertz's path. Havertz then knocks it back to Gabriel Martinelli, and Martinelli puts it in the back of the net. I don't care if it goes off of Ake or not. That is a Havertz assist and a Martinelli goal. It's all of the subs. It was all of the subs that made that goal possible. And we were screaming for it on the watch along. Please make the subs. Please make the subs. Please don't leave us out here with this because players are getting tired and we need our press. But it was managed perfectly by Mikel Arteta. We just needed one clear chance to put it in the back of the net and to defend properly. We didn't chuck the ball into the back of our own net. We tried to in the first 20 minutes of the game, but we didn't chuck the ball into the back of our net. We were out of possession. We were very good. We eliminated the threat of Haaland. We had good midfield balance in there. He did not start with Havertz, Odegaard, and Rice. He went in there with more of a defensive pivot, which really worked for us. And at the end of the day, we got a goal and we break a terrible losing streak against Manchester City, which the longer it goes, the harder it is to break. But we fixed it. We fixed it today. And we have to beat the Manchester City side without their best players. We didn't even have our best players, but we still needed to be the team that came out with the 3 points. Now we get to go into the international break with a big win under our belt. We beat Manchester United at home. We beat Manchester City at home. We should have beat Tottenham at home. And we have every ability to get better from here. This is exactly what we need to go into international break. It did not matter how it happened. It didn't matter if it didn't matter anyway how we got the 3 points. All that mattered is that we got it. And I want to give a lot of credit to Mikel Arteta because, again, he made the substitutions at the right time, and the substitutions are why we won the game. And starting off with a weaker 11 that kind of just kept us in the game and worked hard, and then bringing on some more weapons in the second half really, really worked for us. And we just never really looked, especially at the back in terms of our back line, we never really looked rattled. Saliba and Gabriel, again, I said this the other day, they're one of the best center back pairings in Europe. And I'm really struggling to find a better one because when it comes to keeping possession, being calm back there, last ditch tackles, interceptions, physical battle with a really good striker, they just have it all. They had us covered. That one clearance that Gabriel makes, I mean, I was speechless because that is just like individual quality from a really, really smart center back. Saliba winning his battles in there as well, stepping in front, being decent in possession, doing his job. And then you had Rice and Jorginho in front of them, who a lot of people were saying that Jorginho was the wrong pick. I actually think he was the perfect pick. We needed to go to a double pivot, period. We could not go into this game with a single pivot. And Jorginho, his interceptions, he was winning the ball, he was keeping the ball for us. In the first half, he had some really good sprayed passes into Trossard and Gabriel Jesus. We just weren't able to capitalize on them. Rice, we robbed West Ham. I will continue to say it. I know West Ham are playing well and they did well with the money, but I don't give a damn. Declan Rice is worth the 100 million pounds that we spent. And for the media to consistently say that he's the one that needs to prove that he's worth that amount, he's done it already. We do not win that game without Declan Rice. He's the difference. The 2 times that he's played against Manchester City, we have not lost. He is a huge difference. He stops the fires. He makes it very difficult for their, attacking players to find space. And in the second half, playing a more adventurous role, he was getting us up the pitch. The guy is such a good player. Like, I am so happy that we got him. I am so happy that we got him. And in a game where we had some players that had pretty bad games, we were still able to get the job done. And that's what you need. And no Saka, and we still got the 3 points. We go into the international break, I think second in the table, only behind like Spurs or something, but with a big, big monkey off our back, because if you can beat Manchester City, you can beat anybody. And that's how Arsenal need to start thinking at this point. Let's see what you guys are saying. I've been talking for like 8-9 minutes. Ivy says, Declan Rice is a wall. Nothing moves past him. Iman says, man of the match, Rice. The Comic Moth says, Rice was man of the match. I mean, he's the difference there. I was saying that, I felt like because they didn't have Rodri or Kevin De Bruyne, one of our midfielders needed to be the star. And it ended up not being Odegaard, but Rice was the one. Rice was the one that ended up being the best midfielder on the pitch. He was everywhere. I can't wait to see his numbers. And also, Martinelli, big game player. We talked about that before the game started. Was that Martinelli is a player that always shows up in the big games. Maybe a couple of years ago, he didn't have the goals, but he was always a constant threat. He is really showing himself to be the type of player that really steps up when the team needs him. And it can't always be Saka. It can't always be Saka. It can't always be Odegaard. We need other players chipping in. So Martinelli, big game player. Rice, a big game player. I just loved it. Ivy says Declan is a wall. Oh yeah, you guys already said that. Cosmo says Rice, Martin, and Partey should be our midfield 3. Partey looked really good when he came on. He did look really good when he came on. But again, the split of the job between Jorginho and Partey, I think, was perfect for Mikel Arteta. I really don't want Jorginho's performance to go under the radar because it was really, really good. And he's somebody that I think we underrate because we don't love that he doesn't have the legs, but if he has players around him with legs, he's very useful to the team. I thought the split between using Partey for the last 20 and Jorginho for the first 70 was perfect. That's how you need to use your squad. Monk says Martinelli and Saka really transform the side, gives us edge. They're one of the best wing pairings in the world. Social Join says once Martinelli came on, they stopped pressing, speed kills. We need some more speed for sure. The truth always comes to light, says well done Arteta. He deserves credit when we don't win games. We're very quick to kill him and say that he has to go and all this kind of stuff. But when he gets it right, I think we have to be also give him praise for that, because his subs are the reason why we won the game. Quite frankly, like it's not even like I'm looking at the goal right now. Martinelli sub, Tomiyasu sub, Kai Havertz sub, Partey with the ball over the top. He got it right. Saturdays equals use says Arteta masterclass. And Coach Dave, I hear what you're saying, like, oh, we won the game, now everybody's gonna go crazy. I saw Lee Gunner's tweet saying, oh, if we win, then we're the best team in the world and blah blah blah, but if we lose, it's not a big deal. I'm sorry, but like it's gonna be very difficult to and I don't think you should want like Arsenal fans not to be excited about this. Like, this is something that people have been asking for a long time. Like, no matter how we play, win the big games against the big teams, and we've done that. And so you can't ask for things and it go in that direction and then expect people not to praise it. It doesn't mean we're going to win the league, but being salty about us winning, for me, sometimes I sense a little bit of saltiness from people that don't like the manager. Just at least enjoy the moment. Like, take Arteta out of the equation and whether or not you think he's good enough. This is a big moment for the players.